We have recovered from a 6-way lip sync for your life. The queens are shook. And this week we have appearances by Rachel Maddow, Donald Trump, and a goat. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, welcome to AfterBuzz TV's weekly recap of RuPaul's Drag Race on Logo TV, VH1, and Logo presented by Logo TV. All that good stuff. I am Mchale Freeman, joined by my wonderful panel here.
Thank you.
What did I write? I wrote a little thing for each of you. Cutie Patootie, everyone's favorite cutie patootie, Ollie Dreamer.
Hey, everyone.
And the outspoken and sassy J-Lo Rocks.
Oh, bitch, that was for you.
I have given that crown to you, young lady. And back to join us on the panel, the calm, cool, and collected Ronnie Jr.
Yay!
For Miss 123 Jackie B could not be here today.
Oh, we miss her.
But we love her.
We love her. She did send us some text messages. We'll give her. We'll mention some of the things she mentioned to us during the week. And also a shout out to Josh and Benood in the booth that are running the all my 30 photos I sent in.
They're having a lip sync, a battle royale, if you will.
Lip sync up there.
That just means we're killing it in the booth.
Okay.
They must have saw us this weekend.
Right?
Damn.
We'll also be, stay tuned later because I'm going to give you more information about some free tickets to LA drag events. So you want to stick around for that. What did you guys think of the episode?
I loved it. It was so good. And I hate the musical episodes, no lie, because I don't really like musical theater personally. I know that breaks that breaks everyone's heart. It's not my cup of tea. I got my cup of tea right here.
Right.
But I loved it. I love the runway, and I agree with pretty much everything that happened. Not everything, but we'll talk about it.
J-Lo?
Now, initially, when I saw the preview last week, I was like, she real bold for this. First we get this double crowning. I'm still mad about the double crowning. And now you're going to do Trump. I was like, ooh, okay, I'm scared. But once I saw the episode and it analyzed and it hit me, this is one of my favorite episodes of Drag Race history.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
For the first time in Drag Race history.
Wow.
Lord.
Ronnie Jr., what did you think of it?
I liked it, and I was gonna say that it seems super weird to say every season, it doesn't hold up to the last. But I was sort of having this space where I was like, well, when we went into 10, I was like, even when I sat here on the panel, I was like, oh my God, you guys, Monet, and I think Ollie loved Cracker right away. So this group, while I liked more people universally, I couldn't locate who my stars were. But I do think that 45, the Rusical, did sort of give us that. So now I'm able to kind of assess my winners and the ones that are more fluff. So I think that was my favorite part about this episode.
I was I'm a very if you follow me on social media, you know that I'm into politics, and don't worry, I'm not gonna get into my opinions. But one of my issues is that is by mentioning a particular person all the time makes them not go away. So that kind of annoyed me that was the title of, and I'm not going to even say it because I don't want to give that person any kind of recognition. My only issue is I wish it was, because it could have been just women in politics or something like that instead of giving him the. It just gives him.
Even when I had to say it a second ago, I had to call it 45.
Yeah, I know, and I noticed that you did that.
Because I've thought that same mentality. We can't always be excited about a SHIT show all the time. So. Right. But with that said, it did turn out okay.
Yeah, and it was about females, the future is female, and all that. And so I ended up loving the story, and I really did. I liked it. Before we get a little too much into this, because we do that
I
here.
can feel the steam over here.
Ollie's going to tell us a little something before
hey
we
guys,
go a little further.
Ollie here. Follow my OnlyFans account. No.
Finally.
That's how he gets the check, honey. That's how he gets the coin.
We really appreciate you guys tuning in week after week. But we need you guys to continue to support us because we support you. Subscribe to our multiple channels, not just this reality competition. We got dramas. We got
Real Housewives of New York, which I do now.
Oh, you do?
Okay.
Tune in.
She's back in a real way.
Tune in. We got a sci-fi, which I also do on the side. So just give us a 5-star review, right,
Yes.
Jayla?
That's right.
Because if they do, we're gonna shout you out on the show and show you some love.
And
And
not just a shout out, but they get fan of the week.
Get fan of the week. Come on, y'all.
And you guys, by the way, and not to, I know you already said what you said, but like on that shout out level, it is really good, you guys, because I was working DragCon with Mchale Visage, as we talked about previously, and I just got word that I might be working the LA one also. Yeah, that's in the works. When I was there, I will say a lot of people did come up to the booth, of course, for Mchale, the queen, but also were very nice to me because they recognized our program. So the AfterBuzz, like Drag Race, you know,
the fandom is there.
They know what's what. They know what's what. So it was really nice. Yeah.
We got Tunisia in the house. We got North Korea in the house. We got Ireland. We got Bahrain in the chat room today.
Amazing.
So thank you guys so much. We do appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're the reason we drive over the hill. If you live in LA, you understand what that means. All right, so let's get into this. The mini challenge was breaking news. They had to read live from a teleprompter in the style of Rachel Maddow of MSNBC and The Rachel Maddow Show. So the pit crew brings in Rachel Maddow wigs and glasses and blazers, and the girls had to read live on a teleprompter. Have you guys ever, and we've all done hosting here, so has anyone ever done teleprompter work?
Yes.
I'm reading one right now.
It's hard though. Literally, I think it's really hard because not only do you have to read, you have to kind of, well, these queens had to emote a character, they have to embody Rachel. So it's harder than it looks, and especially some of them couldn't really read, but I enjoyed it nonetheless.
I've actually never done teleprompter work.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll have to do that for you.
I'm working on it. I'm just scared because I'm a little dyslexic and I see all those words coming up and I get real anxious. So I would be like Benji, like, what did I say? Go back. Benji to me and the Rachel Maddow was me.
And truth be told, it is quite challenging. I've done it. I've actually done it for live television. In 2005, I was on Fuse TV, and so it was like a VJ search. So your task was very much similar to these girls, where you had to read a prompter. And I remember one time the prompter actually was incorrect. So you really have to be one with yourself to make it work.
Yeah.
So when I judged, I didn't necessarily judge on if they could hit the words correctly, because that is going to be quite challenging. I judged on when they did fall, if they kind of still went with it and owned the room. And but it is a challenging thing, as Mark was saying.
I think I'm going to do, if we do the red carpet at the finale, I think I'm just going to pass out dictionaries.
I thought he was going to say, I'm just going to pass out dick, and that's all.
Either way.
Well, either way, I'll take a couple.
Back to all these OnlyFans again.
Right?
Entertain the fans.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks. I know some teleprompter, it's you do get the stuff beforehand, and it's just, you know what I mean? That's
No, I
just
can
there
do
to help
that.
you.
Like if I've seen it
It just
first, I
depends.
can't cold read.
And it does move with, at least when I did it, the one that I worked with, it moved to your pace.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's not like you have to keep up with it. It moves at the
Now
pace
that makes
you're
me
going
feel
at.
better.
And some producers will even write, like there's a show that I work on where I write some of the teleprompter content. I'll make sure I like understand and learn our particular host, because she's really good in that way. So I give these queens a lot of credit, because they were probably raw.
And they did that on purpose, which is fine, totally fine. So other than Scarlett, who won, was there anyone that you thought maybe they're going to win?
Evie. I put
Yeah.
Evie. She's funny.
Yeah.
I think I like how she's really talented in that she can make almost anything funny, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Especially in this challenge, which we'll talk about. But I also really liked Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I thought Brooklyn did such a fantastic job, really nailed the character, and we didn't see her so much, but I thought what we did see, we probably saw like two things of like Nina. I thought Nina did a pretty good job as Rachel.
Yeah. Ronnie Jr., anybody stand up for you?
Unfortunately, there really wasn't the standout. I do think Evie was good, but yeah, no.
But I just think they didn't really give enough camera
True.
time. It was just
There's
like
like
one sentence.
There's
It was
too
just
many-
like so many people.
Yeah.
There's
It was
too
hard
many
to-
queens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I rewatched it, I know Mark watches the show a couple times before we come here. Rewatching it, I was like, it always zoomed by, and I was like, wait, hold on, I got to rewind and rewatch. Like, so it was done maybe a little too fast for my liking.
Yeah. I mean, once it was all said and done, even watching it multiple times, I thought, I mean, of what they showed, Scarlett seemed to be the one that kind of stood out. And Evie. Evie was the only one that I kind of also
And
saw.
I was like really happy that she won because I thought she casted everyone like to the T.
Right,
Ooh,
right, which we'll get to. I did think it was funny because I feel like we have to talk about the GOAT. because Mercedes says, we don't have Rachel Maddow where I'm from, but we have a goat. Later she explains that a goat, I guess to her, also means greatest of all time. I don't know if she made that up on the fly or if
No,
that's
that's
something.
a thing.
It's current.
That's an acronym that
Yeah.
I didn't even know, but it's a thing. I
okay.
I heard goat, but I didn't know what it stood for.
Rappers have been saying it for some
it's hip hop
time, yeah.
culture,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it was cute with Mercedes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, she just charms the heck out of me. I would, yeah, I'm done. She just really charms me in a way. But we'll get into
She
that.
is. Yeah,
I was gonna say my prediction for her, if she had continued, of course, would be Lil' Kim. I would have really wanted to see a Lil' Kim.
And did she do? That was her snatch game?
No, I'm saying that's who I would want to see. But
Right.
yeah. Anyway.
So then the main challenge was, as we said earlier, that person, 45, the music, the Rusical.
Yes.
And they basically, it was the women in 45's world and done in the style of Grease. The musical Grease, so very, that 50s and all that stuff.
Okay, that picture.
And it was choreographed by Giannis. I know, that was the only
The
one.
shadiest of it all.
Giannis Marshall choreographed
Yeah,
it.
she's been up for 3 days, honey. She's ready. She's ready to dance. Jazz hands. Twist.
Chug some Red Bulls, I guess.
Yeah, she's ready for this.
So I'm sure Jackie's very upset to not be here because she loves drama in rehearsal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there seemed to
This
be.
was like the Jackie episode. I'm sorry.
Oh, I kept thinking
I
that.
texted her the
episode.
whole time. I was like, I can't come on Sunday. Like, she speaks to everything that was on this episode.
Yeah.
So I miss her viewpoint.
I love the. It's so funny to me because Raja, and it wasn't Raja that said it. It was somebody else. I think it was Honey said, am I just as delusional as Milk was? Da, da, da. I think Raja is more delusional than Milk was.
Ooh, that's
Like
Really?
she
that's
just, just the fact that she thinks that she was, she told Ru when Ru came in, she had dance experience, she was going to help everybody else. Da, da, da. The exchange between her and Giannis was everything. I was loving every minute about
And
it.
she's been dragging like for a couple episodes now. Like this was a much needed rude awakening for her.
Yeah.
It's easier to say now because she's looking not as strong. But yeah, I felt like she was fluff up until kind of earning her spot today. I mean, on this particular Raja, yeah.
Yeah, she sits on the other side of the spectrum to me when it comes to girls. So I thought I would have preferred Honey to stay and her switch out because you kind of have an idea of like who's going based off of personality and camera time. But I was really surprised to see Honey go, and I was like, oh, okay, I see where this is going. So she must be next. But then I seen her in the bottom, and I was like, okay, so she must be next. So that's how I think of it.
Yeah. She definitely didn't have the dancing.
She didn't.
I didn't like the excuse of like this is what I'll never mind. I'll never mind you saying, "Hey, I am a dancer," if that's your world. And then if you end up doing bad, okay, fine. But the excuse about I haven't danced in 8 years thing, that was a little weird to me. Like, stand in your truth. If your truth is, I'm a good dancer, but yet Giannis is giving me difficult choreography, that's okay. But your excuse also then can't be,
I haven't danced for 15 years ago.
so it's like, which one is it, sis? Like,
You know
Right.
You know who I enjoyed?
Who?
I really like seeing Scarlett. Scarlett cannot dance at all, but like
Agreed.
kind of owned it and admitted the fact that she couldn't dance. I don't
Yeah.
know, I think Raja just might like nothing against her, might just have like this ego. At least that's what we're being presented, and I don't see her sticking much longer, honestly.
What did you guys think of Ariel, and like her saying that she could dance as well, or not
She was in musical theater background.
Yeah, and then that
Well-
being sort of a moment where she gave up, or at least that's what it looked like, that she stood up.
I think it didn't have anything to do with her not being able to dance. It was more about her getting into her head.
Yep.
She's like, oh shoot, I know this is gonna be my week. I may be in the bottom, and this is something like when you think sometimes I'm a victim of that, like overthinking things, and it never comes true. And for me, she delivered in the end.
Right.
But at the beginning, she's like, all right, this is my time.
There's a huge intimidation factor,
Yeah.
especially being next to Brooklyn,
Yeah.
who is a trained ballet dancer for how many years?
Yeah.
And obviously just seeing her lift her leg up. Brooklyn, for sure, that is a top contender. Saying it now, like, clearly. Like, couldn't
Well,
take my eyes off her.
I think what I really liked about Ariel, the breakdown, is that she understood that she wasn't doing well, and she went back to the room, whatever, and she just practiced the shit out of it so she could nail it. And that I respect more than anything, because so many of them go, oh, I can't do this, and they just kind of give up and they kind of walk through it. So I appreciated that she did that. And it is hard, you know, Lorraine hosted a choreographer's ball for a year or so here in LA, and they used to make me dance with the dancers, the professional dancers. And I mean, I've danced. I'm not a professional dancer, but it just takes me longer. So I understood, like, some people can't just get it and go with it and know it. It takes them repetition and the muscle memory, and that's how I am. I mean, I'll learn it. You just have to give me time to learn it.
That's also something that goes into the whole I can't sew thing.
Right.
You know they're going to have a musical. You know they're going to have some music. Write your bars before you get there.
Yeah.
Have, you know, practice on you. Take some dance classes before you get there. Take some sewing classes before you get there, so you can be ready for whatever. Don't come there saying, oh, I have this, because the only excuse that I could really handle was Evie saying about her disorder.
The connective tissue disorder. Yeah.
That's fine, but she did not make an excuse about it. She said, I just have to be careful, but I'm still on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, I can't do this because my knees, and then you go home.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, no, I'm just going to say that I think it's like a slightly different excuse as far as the parameters that I would give it an okay. If you can't sew at all, why are you coming into the competition, right?
Correct.
Versus, as Mark made a really great example, he said that, you know, he could dance, but it's going to take him a longer period of time.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's as an easy as of a fix, like, because
I know it's not something to fix, but it's something to work on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would say, take some dance class, like take beginner's dance classes, so you can, or
Take a
take some
sewing class.
Zumba classes,
Yeah.
so you know how to open up your body. So you know you gotta
Right.
you gotta train your things, the things that you're, like you say, your weaknesses, and make that your strong points when you get there.
right. You're right about that.
Well, and I said that last week or the week before, that's what frustrates me, is that everybody's wanting just to get on the show.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get on just to be on, get my 15 minutes, and they aren't
not
going
doing the
on to
prep
win,
work,
and they're
right.
not doing the prep work. Stop. Just like be like, you know what? I'm going to go take some sewing classes. I'm going to take some dancing classes. I'm going to do some improv classes. Like, these are all things that are ultimately going to help you when it all is said and
Because
done.
if you can't dance, I'm not coming to see you perform.
Right, exactly.
And if you're a performer, then you should be able to learn how to at least buck and shuck or something.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, make me believe it. But if you say, oh, I can't dance, I can't sew,
And-
why am I coming to your show?
And
Yeah.
before we move on, last thing I'll say about Ariel is that I like that she's constantly proving us wrong, or
Yeah.
like she's delivering.
Yeah.
Despite everything, despite her shortcomings, she's still delivering. She delivered this week, and that's
Well,
what I
even the week that she did do bad, the next week was the thing, and she stepped her game up and she did better.
She's
so
to me, she's pretty professional. At least what we're seeing on the show,
Yeah.
she's definitely a professional.
And you know,
Absolutely.
and we love queens that have like a lot of effort too, and I feel like we might see that with her.
Yeah.
she ain't going down without a fight, so I like that.
yeah. All right, so then because Scarlett won the Rachel Maddow teleprompter breaking news challenge, she assigned the roles. I'll just go through real quick and say who was assigned what. So Scarlett took Betsy DeVos, Mercedes was Ivanka, Nina was Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Raja was Omarosa, Silky was Oprah, which there was some drama behind that. Evie was Kellyanne Conway, Brooklyn was Ivana Trump, Plastique was Melania, Ariel was Shandy, Akiria was Stormy Daniels, Sugarcane was HRC, and Vanessa Vanjie Mateo was Rosie O'Donnell, with a special appearance by Miss Ginger Minge as Trump, which I think I brought
I
up
thought they were
earlier.
being funny, but it was really her.
It really was her.
I
thought that was
I thought it
funny,
was.
too.
I thought it was when she first came out. I went,
Because like
"Hey,
Comedy
Ginger."
Central did some show with like a 45 version, so but it really,
okay.
I was a little, I was like, that's just an actor, but no, it was Ginge.
Did you like the? Did you like the assignments? Did you think that she should have challenged people more?
I thought the assignment was shady.
Yeah,
I
really?
laughed the whole time when she was like, "You're gonna get this." I just
Yeah.
bust out laughing the whole time.
So you think she was trying to challenge people,
Not intentionally.
right? You don't think she realized she was doing it,
Right.
Gotcha.
But that can come
Interesting.
across as being strategic. I didn't know, you know.
Interesting.
So,
That's interesting because, like, now that you say that, I don't think she was challenging them, but she might have been. Exactly.
I just think this and it's gonna sound so terrible because it's gonna make it like, well, of course, because she did poorly. I'm saying this, but I really, honest to God, said, as somebody who used to watch The Apprentice, actually, Ivana is slow in her delivery. She's so direct, and if they've already listened to the track as well, Mercedes, like for the good of the Rusical, like that wasn't a good choice. Like I don't know necessarily where else I could have put Mercedes, but and I know because Mark has said in the past, having a bad role is not an excuse, and I do get that. But Mercedes, be it body type, be it whatever the case, like she should not have played Ivana. And then we've got a miscast Rosie, you know, Janine Garofalo looking Benji, like. And I wasn't even all the way okay with Akira as Stormy as well.
Yeah.
So
I think they should have switched those three somehow.
somewhere.
I wasn't
It caused a bit of complexity to me because when I watched the Rusical, you have to like watch it and then you have to like put that's where the equivalent of Grease, and then I'm like, well, who are these girls? Like, it was like watching it the third time made much more sense, and I was like, oh my god, I love this Rusical. But the first time, I was like, it was a brain teaser because I couldn't lock down.
You have to also keep in mind that some of these parts are purposely written to be stronger than others. Like Ivanka Trump, like that was like the weakest role, even though that was Mercedes. That was a weak role.
But
I thought Stormy Daniels was a weak role. There were obvious roles that were like stronger than others.
Number one, Nina with Sarah Huckabee was like that made
Oprah especially. I was surprised that Silky was like offended to get that because
I was too.
In past Drag Race seasons, the person who comes out last is generally that role is going to be a contending role.
Right.
I mean, look at Shea Coulee and Black China. Asia last season had a role of like the Sarah Palin character.
Yep.
That's a strong role, and especially for Silky to get Oprah and obviously killing it as well. But
I wonder if the queens are choosing, kind of in their own ego, accidentally at least, where they're trying to choose what's going to make the best for me, and they're communicating that with Scarlett. But when in reality, they should choose what's going to be a breakout, performance aspect.
Yeah.
Like, Nina was so epically strong in this challenge. I was here for it and in love with her even more.
Yeah. Someone in the chat room was saying that they felt like Akira and Suga sort of faded into the background as it related to the performance. I don't know.
They were in my top. My top three was Ariel, Suga, and Nina.
Oh, okay.
For the Rusical.
I mean, Evie totally stood out for me. Silky totally stood out for me, and probably Nina was probably the third one that stood out for me. But again, and Brooklyn too. Brooklyn stood out to me too. I agree with the judges about Vanjie. Because I was watching it kind of going, she's Rosie, da-da-da. And I don't know what she could have done. I mean, granted, she did well. Like, she's a great performer, but it just wasn't coming off as
She gave
Rosie
me, like,
to
little boy trying to keep up with them.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. This may be a new trend, and, being a fellow performer, when do people stop wearing boobs? Like, she was flat chest, the glitter on the chest.
Don't get me started on that.
I don't understand. The tattoo on the chest, very manly. I get that was the role.
Yeah.
But Rosie O'Donnell is known for being big.
Yeah, like maybe
I don't
know.
get it.
I think she have like worn like a
is that a new
tracksuit? Like,
trend? Are we doing the no boobs now?
I would have at least appreciated the effort in that.
yeah,
Me
because
too.
it's like the character.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because I can't comment on that because I'm a Naomi stan. So like, and Naomi does not wear boobs ever. So like,
but I think that's relevant to the what you're wearing, what is the runway challenge, and what is the performance challenge. Because I think of you actually, Ollie, every time, or all of you, every time somebody is going up there and you mentally watch the show and you want to clock somebody for being boy body. But sometimes if it works and it makes sense, I'm into it. So but it didn't make sense to be a flat-chested Rosie and not have Rosie body. And I think also, if I think of Rosie-isms, I think she has like a big like almost like a husky laugh. I mean, it's just Miss Rosie, but there are things you could play with. So it didn't really work for me.
So the runway theme was Agent Orange, Orange Alert. Our guest judges were Tiffany Pollard.
Yes.
Yes, New
from
York.
New
Flavor
York.
of Love.
The
I love New York.
literally
She's back on VH1.
the
That's all that matters.
original queen of VH1.
Wait, why do you guys
Yes.
like her so much? This is a question I have to ask.
Tiffany Pollard is a freaking reality television
Icon.
goddess.
She
Exactly.
is
She
icon.
put VH1 on the map.
I don't watch it. but-
Flavor of Love.
put
I
VH1
love New York.
I knew who
New
she
York
was.
goes to work.
School, all of these started because
I definitely knew who she was.
She's amazing.
I don't watch the show. But I
By
knew
the
who she
way, I
was.
probably watched every show you spoke about, but I don't have the reaction to her that you guys do.
I have that reaction to Joel Mchale.
I do.
He
I'm
is.
happy.
everything.
Even if he would
is
yell,
so
yeah,
sexy.
yeah.
He's
Well,
very
now let me
sexy.
say this. Let me say this. Joe Mchale is the example of what straight men do at drag bars, and I
Yeah.
find it highly disrespectful.
Oh.
Like, you don't belong in that space, so be respectful.
Right.
And the whole shouting, the
That's why I
get
thought it was funny that you thought he's attractive, because I could see how you would think he's attractive, but like just off his characteristics of doing that, wouldn't you?
It just- he's hot. He's hot.
Yeah, my
Don't get
boner
me
will go
wrong.
down the moment somebody gives me characteristics that I don't like.
Well, like I say, we were talking about it a little bit before the show. It didn't bother me as much. I thought it was kind of inflated for the show.
Yeah.
So that doesn't bother me. If
Yeah.
he was actually doing it at a show, I think
Yeah.
I'd
But
have more
that's
of an
what I'm
issue
saying.
with
Like,
it.
I've seen people like him
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it because it was pissing Mchale off, and I just loved when people piss Mchale off. 'Cause- So that
Mchale is a
thrilled me.
sweetie.
I know.
I just love it when Mchale like kind of fights, regardless of whether
Yeah.
it's staged with the other. Like I remember like Leah Remini or something was on like past season. It's just really funny.
Yeah.
I just like seeing the judges and guest judges interact with one another.
I'm interested to see. I usually follow up pretty quickly, but I haven't this week. If Joe Mchale is on, what's the tea? Because
I listened to it.
I
They're-
know you
it's really
listen.
good.
Yeah.
Wait, was Tiffany?
seem- she was on the last week, but
Oh,
Joe
okay.
Mchale was on this week.
Yeah.
But they were all fine. They knew it was part of the show. And they
Yeah.
were just
And-
kicking it. So
And Tiffany was an amazing guest judge. Like I loved her
Yeah.
critiques. Like,
Yeah.
so entertaining.
What did she say?
all right,
she said,
Kawanda.
she said, on a typical day, I'd like to sit on Rosie O'Donnell's face,
Right.
and this wasn't giving me that moment. Everyone was like, keep going.
Right.
I kept my
need
legs
more.
closed the entire
I
time.
need
we
more.
performed.
So for the runway, I'll say who the top and bottoms were, and then let's go around and say if you have any different opinions of that. The tops were Evie, Silky, and Brooklyn, and the bottoms were Vanessa, Benji. It's weird to say Vanessa. Everyone calls her Benji.
It really is.
But I always have to say Vanessa. Vanessa, Benji, Mateo, Raja, and Mercedes were in the bottom. Ollie, did you agree with that, or did you have some other
Sorry,
opinion?
wait, we're like
I think the.
sorry, in terms of I have not been drinking today.
Oh.
Yes.
In terms of drinks.
We're gonna go the bullet.
Oh,
In terms of
I'm in.
wait, sorry. In terms of outfits or performance?
I'm talking runway now.
Runway,
Just the
we're
runway.
runway.
now.
Good,
Just
good,
the
good.
runway.
I loved Akira's.
Akira's?
look. I love that she didn't have an orange garment. She had an orange
hair.
hair. It was beautiful. But I love Brooklyn's look. Evie just cannot
Okay.
stop slaying. And who was the other one?
The other Silky was in the top.
What did Silky wear?
Silky was in the orange
Silky,
gown.
I liked seeing her in that silhouette, and her face was beautiful.
beautiful.
That was the
Yeah.
best she's ever looked thus far.
Jayla?
My tops were a lot extensive this week, and I'm not talking about the bullet. I put Evie, Brooke, Raja, Sugar, Silky.
Okay.
My bottom had to be Mercedes. Now, last week, I told Mercedes to get her stuff together, or she was
did.
going to be picking up a tweeter head.
You did.
And she didn't listen to me.
Yeah.
And here we are today,
Here we are.
picking up our tweeter head.
Yeah.
So,
Ronnie, did you have anybody that stood out that weren't in the top or
It's
bottom?
probably going to be,
Same thing.
no, it's going to be different. I just, because I love the whole episode of Nina, Nina West gave it to me. And because it was funny because the moment she walks out.
Those of you that are listening, you
moment-
didn't see
Ollie gave
Ollie's
me
reaction.
a look of death. No, it just gave me as soon as she walks out, I'm like, oh my god, the Hello Dolly of it all, and I was just so into it. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, the contrast of you're not gonna see that particular look in the actual film, the orange,
Right.
orange color. It's kind of like two different worlds mixed. So I liked that. Go ahead.
I agree with you. I put Nina as my honorable mention today. But I just wish she walked a little. Hold up now. Y'all not gonna give me-
I'm
y'all not gonna
listening.
give me
I'm
too
listening.
much
Prove
now.
me wrong.
I think
or
it's
like-
good that me and Ollie are so far apart.
Okay.
Change my mind.
I
Change
felt
my
that.
mind.
I
Right.
felt that. Okay. If she would have walked a little bit slower and paid attention more to detail with the tassels, the dress was swishing around her.
Yeah.
If she would have walked with the dress like
I-
Silky did, then it would have been.
I
a
can
top
get that,
for
I
me.
think, and these are odd points that have nothing to do with the actual garment. Like the fact that she does credit Barbara Streisand and the whole liberal aspect of it. It just
Right.
what it makes me feel is, how like you like your you're in Queens. It's like you stand for Naomi because everything she says, does, and talks and all that. It's like with Nina when she gave me that look, I was like, oh, I really get her. So that's why
Yeah.
that's why she was one of my favorites. But what's your opposition?
I mean, it just didn't look good. Like, it just didn't.
Jesus.
It was very flat. It looked. Honestly, this is what it reminds me of. It looks like one of Cinderella's ugly stepsisters.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I immediately thought of.
My issue was, and I've said this before with her, I wanted the hair bigger. The proportions of the hair were too small for me. The feathers in the fan just seemed kind of thrown in the fan, and the dress didn't fit well.
Okay.
Those were my issues.
damn.
Sorry, Nina. You know I love you.
Nina's
but
dress tonight goes in the box with Latrice's boots
Right,
from All Stars 4. In the box.
That
you
was
go.
a rough dress, Latrice.
In the box.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just the other ones that I thought were amazing, of course, was Brooklyn. And I thought it wasn't the best, but I liked Suga's take, and I like a drag queen who's going to step out of it. So I didn't give her like my top choices, but I was like, that would be my Miss Congeniality, which of course doesn't exist. So,
honorable
but she
mention.
gave me that. She gave me like, this worth me mentioning that she took it there.
So I want to talk about Scarlett really quick before we move on. She gave me a little bit of Tu Wong Fu realness. Yeah.
In a good
my
way or a
thing-
bad thing? Bad way.
You decide.
Oh boy.
I know what I've decided.
It's written, baby.
And I want to say, I made this fan theory, and I said, what if Benji is the mole to help Ru pick winner? Like, I think it's been clues in the episodes, like the whole peeking at the beginning, and in the promo, she's like, "I'm back with a vengeance." She has the scissors, so she may have something to do. That's why they're letting her slide through the competition.
Interesting.
Don't
not
quote me
heard
on it because
that.
I'm not there, but I think it has something to do with each episode.
Well, they thought that about BB too for All Stars
Right.
that season.
I
But
feel like
now-
Baby would
It might
make more
be-
sense.
The reason why I think that now is because we gave Kahana episode 2 all of this fever for wearing glitter on the chest. Vanjie's worn red most of the season and glitter on the chest, and nobody said anything but size
Mchale did finally
this week.
Yeah, Mchale finally.
I
did
like
say
that.
something.
I like that Benji said she felt expensive versus like I didn't like. And I know what's her name, young lady, Plastiques. Like she just this is Cardi B's actual.
Right.
I don't like when you lead with your money. I like when if you can feel it, that's great. You know. I don't like when you name dropping and that's gonna make
But
me.
that looks good on Cardi B. You and Cardi B ain't the same body.
It actually did her a
and it
disservice.
also gave me Valentina because didn't they wear the same
Oh
thing?
yes. You said you liked Akaria. Was it one of you?
Yeah.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah, right?
It was
Body.
Like, it was like some type of, and I keep referencing the Queen Lil Kim, but it was something so good.
Yeah.
It looked like she was like sophisticated, but she also didn't mind getting flued out. So
Yeah, she got flued out.
She had her
loved
little
it.
city girl
Now,
situation. Yeah.
Was the costume hair too? I think it was hair on the sides to make it look longer.
I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
There are
I
times
think it
where
was like a.
it
it
like
Was
was a
it?
long-
Maybe.
Look on the
longer
4K.
I just love.
Look on the 4K. I pretty think it was sewn
I just love.
together. Like
Yeah,
sewn.
I just love seeing it move.
Oh, and by the way,
She-
she said it in the confessional. But then when I rewatched, there was a part where Akaria walks across the stage. Oh, that good God booty is just the plumpest thing you have, because you saw it in the dress, of course. But Jesus, that thing,
I love it.
it'll
Real,
bounce. It'll
or is it
bounce back.
IKEA?
All right.
It'll bounce back.
So
Sorry, Mark.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm just I'm watching the time. Someone's got to do it.
I know.
Vanjie and Vanjie was safe. Brooklyn ended up being safe. Evie ended up being safe. Silky won, and Raja and Mercedes were in the bottom. They had to lip sync to James Brown's "Living in America," and Miss Mercedes had to sachet.
Pick up that tweeter
away.
hair, girl. I told you.
It was so funny because this week a lot of my friends were saying Mercedes just needs to go. Even though I think some people are probably like, oh, good. I do think this was, like you were saying, a good going out for her because I feel like there was a lot we learned about her, and she kind of opened up to everything, which we'll get into in a little bit.
And she got a meme out of it. Go on Drag Race, get you a meme, and go.
Right.
The opulence.
Yeah.
Before we get into the segments, I just want to
Okay.
bring up one more thing that needs to be discussed. The kiss seen around the world.
Brooklyn and Benji.
Brooklyn and Vanjie. How are we feeling?
Why don't they talk about it if it's a thing? And does that reference back to, like, what was it, a no sex situation with Willem? Like,
Well, Willem's boyfriend was coming to the hotel and having sex with her in the room. So that's different.
But I thought that was
So they're not supposed to communicate with people on the outside. So
our
that's
chat
different.
just died, or over from our situation.
Yeah.
I
What are
thought
they
that
saying?
I heard that was a cover. This is off topic. That was a cover up for Willem, like effing one of the producers, actual producers of the show. But anyways, what are we talking about before this? Oh, Brooklyn
kiss.
and Vanjie.
The kiss.
So are they allowed to have a showmance, or is that?
That's my question.
I've
yeah.
never,
I think so.
I've never seen this storyline before on the show before.
I don't know if they're allowed to spend
Care.
quality time out like in their rooms together. I don't think
Yeah.
they're allowed to do that. But I think if they're in the workroom and stuff is going on, I mean, not that they're going to do anything in the
Do we
workroom.
care?
I mean, I don't really personally.
I
but
don't give a
I just because it was discussed.
It's cute.
I didn't want people to. I didn't want to get home and go. Mark didn't bring up the kiss.
Wouldn't be who I would have thought Vanjie would go for, but hey, it worked.
They're
yeah.
both extremely like cute boys, like so. I'm not.
I'd
Get
milk
it,
too.
get it, get it.
Yes.
Please get it.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into the segments. Our first one is our weekly segment called Mirror Moment. And there it is, a little Snow White for you.
Oh.
Come to me. So one of the things that was really discussed in the workroom, which led to another big discussion, was Nina's experience in college, running for government, and a group of college students coming after her, carving fag into her dorm room door, using voice distortion stuff to call her and threaten her, which her opening up about that also led Mercedes to realizing that how important it is for her to talk about her religion and these things. You know, for me, this was one of the best parts of the episode because so much, you know, there was a long time where I kind of fought talking about being gay because I was like, oh, I don't want to be that gay that talks about it and preaches about it. But living it and, you know, getting older and stuff, you start to realize how important it is. And sometimes and I'm sure all of us have had this happen to them where somebody comes up to you and because we're all pretty out and open about it, for somebody who's not, just seeing you walk into the room with confidence really helps other people. And I appreciate Nina talking about it. And Mercedes talking about her religion because it was an awkward situation for her and I can understand why. I had actually a very similar thing happen to me in college that happened to Nina. My roommate came in and broke down the bedroom door and him and his friends kind of screamed at me, called me fag, and I ended up getting removed from my dorm room as well. So I didn't know that about Nina, and I actually performed for Nina. I've said this before. I've gone to, she went to Denison University in Ohio. I don't know if she was allowed to say it, but I did. And we used to perform drag shows with her. She would invite us and we'd do shows there and stuff. So she's come a long way. Shout out to Nina. I love you. And Mercedes. I think it was tough for both of them to do what they did.
Yeah.
Earlier you said this was one of my favorite episodes, and then at first I was like, you know, for the entertainment value, maybe not. But when you think about the episodes that get submitted to, you know, for the Emmy consideration and whatnot, this really was that episode.
Yeah.
And Mark, it's just such a heart palpitations, I guess, to hear what you say, and it's always really dynamic because we think of the different generations too. Like when I met Ollie working on this particular show, it was always quite intriguing that he was just so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed as far as like what he knew in the queer community and what he was going to be an advocate for. And then it just also reminds me of like my taking for 30. I was like 30 years old before I started coming into my own. So what was it reminded me of that specifically because when you see something like a Matthew Shepard. As I was growing up, you guys may be a little bit younger, but when we were growing up, what it did to me or people that I know, like you ran further away. You see like Versace, boom, that didn't end well. You know, Matthew Shepard, you get so terrified of all of these things. So to your point of speaking up is so valuable. And it doesn't have to be like holding a flag.
Right.
It's just how you walk into a room and what you're willing to say and what you're willing to fight for.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that just goes to show the power of media because like you know, like us growing up, we're younger. We're like part of the younger generation. We're millennials, whatever you want to call it. Literally, I gained so much confidence through media, and I think that this show is one of those outlets that queer youth all around the world. I mean, the people listening to us in all places, like it's powerful. It really is powerful, and like I said, we critique it and throw shade here and there, but it's powerful, and it's what gives young queer lives all over the world confidence to be strong, proud, queer individuals in this world, in this time frame that we're in.
And I also say this too, because sometimes it's not safe for you to be
Right.
who we are. where you are, but when it's right for you to get away and
Right.
you can go do it, then go do it. I'm not saying to go do something that's going to
Yes.
cause, danger to yourself. You have to think of yourself and your friends and your family first. Just know that there's, it gets better. I know that's so cliche, but it so does get better, All right, wow, that took a serious turn.
right.
Let's get to quote of the week. There it is.
There we go.
So my quote of
You did good, Mark.
Thank you,
that
thank
was
you. So quote of the week this week, I had to give it to Giannis when he said to Raja, "Where'd that dance experience go?"
Right.
I literally laughed out loud because I was like,
He had some good quotes. He said something to Kyria too.
"Yeah, there were." He had quite a few really good.
Of the choreographers that come, who are some of your favorites? Do you like him? Do you like Todrick? I want to say that I still like when Alyssa comes back.
I agree.
Because Alyssa gives you you should do this, Brooklyn, you should do this such and such, you should do this such and such. And then she goes and shows
Right.
this, like only Alyssa could do. Like the ego on
Yeah,
Alyssa.
she's my dancing queen.
Amazing.
I want to see Lorianne Gibson.
Oh yeah.
I want to see her there. She's very like
The Boom Cat Queen.
she's
yeah.
the boom cat queen. So she's done like Danny Kane and she's
Yeah.
done like P Diddy and all these people. So I want to see like a female choreographer come
would
up
be
there
smart,
and
yeah.
turn the party.
Yeah. So fan of the week. So we were sitting out there. We had 2 new 5-star quotes on iTunes, so I just picked the first one to
yay.
do fan of the week. And as I was reading it out there with Ali, I was like, "Oh, I know who this is." So I swear to you, I didn't know it was my friend Laura. It's Laura from Queens, is what she titled it. Is iTunes a 5-star review? She wrote, "I pour a glass of wine, turn on my computer, put on my earbuds. This is my time. The hosts are fun to watch and listen to. Thanks for an hour of tea and laughs. Keep up the good work, Jackie, Jayla." We'll insert Ronnie Jr. because it's not in there. Ali, and my love, Mark, Lorraine Love. And I just thought it was someone being nice to me, but it is my friend Laura, who I met.
But y'all
on,
want to know what's funny? Even though I'm not on this show anymore, I will watch you guys each and every week. Like I came in before we started recording, and I told each of them quotes of things they said. Like it's just going off even the serious stuff. It's just such a fun place to let's congregate for the week. We got enough BS to deal with. Let's just cackle for a little bit.
Yeah.
So shout out to the girl who's drinking the wine on the bed. I do the
Laura.
same thing, but I'm in my chonies, and it's all good.
What's chonies?
Underwear, sweetie. Underwear.
Oh, I was like, chonies, I'll take 2.
All right, so
Oh, that's a restaurant. Sorry, it's called Shoney's.
Josh, if you want to throw up Jayla's link for Meme of the Week.
Now I brought this for you.
She wouldn't even
guys.
share this with
I didn't
us.
even want to text it to you because I wanted you to
Oh,
see this for
no.
yourself.
Wait, I
so
need to take
thank
you
you
off.
guys so much for sending me all of these crazy RuPaul's Drag Race memes on Instagram. I had to pick this one, and this one has to be like one of my favorite ones. And in respect to this week's Orange episode, and it says Queens on the Runway this week.
I'm the delicious Miss Mandarin.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Is this just what is this? Jayla, is this all this is?
What's that ASMR?
Doesn't stop. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. Okay. That's great.
Wow.
Oh, Chanel.
He goes, wow.
Oh, Chanel. That was perfect. In
It was
connection with the
it was
episode.
looped. It was like
No, that was real.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's great.
funny. I thought that was
That was
hilarious.
good. That was good. Good call.
And last but certainly
Chanel's
not
great.
least, which we spent some time today
Yeah.
discussing, we have now titled this
Yes.
Ollie's Queen's Corner.
Yes.
Okay.
And I can't take credit. That was all Mark. But we're running short on time, but I just want to shout out WeHo Queen, Misty Violet. I know she looks like Ariel there.
Yeah.
Really, even in the comments, she's like she acknowledges it herself, but she's such a funny West Hollywood queen.
She's
She
great.
has great medleys. I love her. Like she does like the Screaming Lamb with like Taylor Swift song, New Year with Trouble. or
I've
something.
seen her
She's
before.
really funny.
I know what this is.
Check her out. Follow her. But yeah, more importantly, you guys can send me your favorite local queens so I can shout them out. So I'm not just talking about local
LA,
Exactly.
Super duper quick. Let me do the Brita filter in New York City. She was at Pieces. It's right there in the West Village. Adele and Jennifer Lawrence just went this week.
That's right.
Pieces was one of the last bars I went to before I moved back to LA. It is a vibe on Friday nights. Brita filter is that chick. She's so amazing.
Okay. Now,
Yes, and just-
Brita filter.
I know. I want to know more about Brita
Right.
Filter. So, but like I said, send me me your queens at olliequeenscorner@gmail.com.
And just Ollie, not Ollie's.
Ollie.
We forgot the S.
And Queen
With a K.
Queens with KW.
Yeah. Spell it all out.
OLLIEKWEENSKORNE.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
We'll get it on a thing next time, and we'll
Yeah,
have the
we'll have a
engineers
bottom-
put it up for
At
you.
Gmail if you're nasty.
At Gmail if you nasty.
Real quick news and gossip for you guys. There is a new show stirring called First Wives Fight Club, starring Raja, not Raja O'Hara, but the queen, the winner, Raja, Ginger Minge, and Brooklyn Heights, written by Peaches Christ and Varla Jean Merman, which I thought was great. I love Varla Jean Merman. They'll be touring in April 7th in San Francisco, April 16th in Portland, April 18th in Washington, and April 20th here in Los Angeles. So I'm going to give away 2 tickets if you're in the Los Angeles. I only have access to the Los Angeles show, so sorry. But if you're in the Los Angeles area, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Lorraine Love, LORAYNE LOVE. And I haven't figured out, because I know everybody doesn't have every social media, so I don't know if I'm going to create an email and a contest, but I'm going to figure something out to make it fair for everybody. So if you're in the LA area and you want to go see that show,
Yes.
yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
If you want to know more about the show, check out curblive.com. It's QURB live.com for more show information. We made it through, guys.
Yay!
Yay.
Props to
You did
us.
great.
And look, I just hit 0. All right,
Yay.
perfect. Everyone, tell them where they can find you on the social medias. Mr. Ollie Dreamer.
Molly.
My Sabbath.
Mr. Ollie Dreamer.
Hey, y'all, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer.
And you can follow the goats at Who is J-Lo Rocks 2X's3 if you nasty.
All right. Well, I'm nasty, so I will be following her.
Yes.
Okay.
Do that.
At randomly RJ, and I'm Ronnie Jr. And we miss Jackie. Thank you for letting me.
Miss you,
sub in.
Jackie, and you can follow me on
Yay.
Instagram and Twitter at Lorraine Love, LORAYNE LOVE. Mwah! See you next week.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.